Zorin 18 core 64-bit from Ventoy, booting on an HP Stream 11. Control C, let's cancel this. I've plugged in a USB mouse. This is an HP Stream 11 with 2 GB of RAM, an Intel Celeron N3060. It's got an 11-inch screen. This is Zorin 18 core. It's the free version. There is a paid version which gives you a whole bunch of themes that are designed to look like Windows 11 or Mac OS X and various other operating systems, but this is just the core version. So let's see if it works. This is in real time. I haven't sped this up. This laptop is very low power, around 10 watts on average. It doesn't have a fan in. And I'm pretty sure the processor is 2 cores. I've got a mouse. We've got a desktop wallpaper, looking pretty nice. The date and time is wrong. I don't really use this laptop much, so I haven't set the time. So let's install Zorin OS. And I'll do this in real time. Hopefully it won't take too long. I need to cover that up. I'm not going to connect to Wi-Fi. It's detected the Wi-Fi on the laptop. Third party is fine. Some is proprietary. This has a 31 GB eMMC type drive in the laptop, so it's not very big and it's not very fast. So it did have MX Linux MX 23.6 on here. I'm just going to erase it simply because the drive in here is not really very big. So here you can see 31 gig MMC, and yeah, this is just going to wipe it all. So that should make things simpler and easier for us. And it's giving us some information about how it's going to do it, in warning us that it'll destroy all data on any partitions, and it's the MMC and it's not the USB drive that I've booted from, so that's all looking fine. And if this takes a lot of time, this is where I might speed things up. Although I have a suspicion it might be installing while we do this configuration. It'll be quite nice use of time if that is the case. Excuse my chair. Log in automatically. It's making me put a password in, telling me that it is a weak password. That is my chair. I do need to get a chair that doesn't squeak. I seem to get a chair, it doesn't squeak, and then after about a certain amount of time, it starts squeaking. Pretty sure Zorin OS 18 was released on the 14th of October to tie in with Windows 10 support ending. And you can still get Windows updates if you enroll for the extended service. And depending where you are in the world, that might be quick, easy and free. Just sign up to OneDrive backup, and then after you've done that, remove it. Or you might have to do some other things. So I'll speed this up. Installation is complete. You need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. I think that took about 15 minutes, but I will put the time on the screen and we will restart. Remove the USB. This is booting in real time. I've not sped this bit up. So we're going to see how long it takes to get to the desktop after it's been installed. And if your laptop or computer has an SSD, it's going to be much quicker. MMC drives are pretty slow. And this is also a slow laptop with only 2 GB of RAM. The processors aren't very quick. It's not got much RAM, and it's got a slow boot drive. We got some music. It's offering us a tour of Zorin, but I just want to have a quick click around. Let's see if I can look at how much memory is being used. The battery in this laptop is dead, which is why I've got an exclamation mark here, I think. We've got Brave as the web browser, we've got files, we've got software, and we've got the tour. I think the mouse that I'm using, the click has stopped working. These Kensington Orbit trackballs with scroll rings the left and right click, they just go after a couple of years, 3 or 4 years, and then that's it. The mouse is no longer useful. So it's got parental controls, that looks good. We've got a software updater, Windows app support, system monitor, utilities, backups, calculator, disk usage. So let's have a look. Does this tell us how much memory is being used? So CPU memory, 1.2 gigabytes of 2 gigabytes is used as a swap. That's not been used yet. Network's not in use because we're not connected to a network. We've got the disk as well and CPU at the top. What else do we have? Disk usage. We should probably see how much space we've got left. 20 gigabytes available, so the installation was less than 10 gigabytes, or whatever is being used now is less than 10 gigabytes, so that's good. And I think this app should break it down. Yeah, it's just working it out now. Oh, and we've got these things like in Windows 11, and it's pretty responsive. Still counting. What else do we have while that's counting? So user is 5.4 gig, swap file is 3.3 gig, and then everything else. Pretty cool graphics, quite like those. Accessories, clocks, file, text editor, weather. Quite a nice interface. LibreOffice Draw, image viewer, internet, Brave. Not sure what that is. Remote desktops. Ah, cool. Web apps. Office. So we've got LibreOffice. Email, contacts, calendar. Sound and video, camera. Oh, create and copy CDs and DVDs, camera, rhythm box, sound recorder videos, system tools, which we've kind of had a look at, Zorin Appearance and Zorin Connect, utilities, calculator, document viewer, scanner, fonts, passwords and keys, and terminal. So let's have a quick look at terminal. So let's run top. There's top. Has it got htop? Nope. Neofetch? Nope, but sudo apt install and then the program you want, you can do that. And I could do that if I was connected to the internet, but I'm not. And should we have a quick look at settings? Wi-Fi, network, Bluetooth, devices, display settings, sound. It's quite neat. And there's an over amplification option, so you can go above 100%. Let's go to the maximum.
Front, right, front, left, front, right, left, front, right.
So that makes everything louder. Power, multitasking, appearance. Zorin appearance is in another bit, and then got background options there. Loading. And there's more options. Apps, notification, search. Let's just quickly click through these. Online accounts, sharing, mouse settings, keyboard settings, color, laptop screen. Okay, you can add profiles, printers, accessibility, privacy, and system. So we can go to about, and this should tell us that we're running Zorin OS 18 core, Intel Celeron N3060, which is a dual core chip, memory 2 GB, disk capacity, and further system details in here. Nice overview. So Wayland is the windowing system, 64-bit, tells me my firmware version, tells me that it is Intel HD Graphics 400. Nice summary there. So let's have a look at appearance. We've got the various backgrounds, but in Zorin appearance, I think that is where you get the themes. And yeah, here are the themes. So the layout can be adjusted. I think it is going to do this in real time. So this one looks maybe a little bit more like Windows 11. This one looks a little bit more like Windows 2000 or earlier. This layout, Windows 11 again perhaps, or something like that. Oh yeah, and it's given us a different app browser system. And it's pretty quick, that actually. And then, what's this one giving us? I guess this is probably the Mac OS version. Where are my apps? So I've got the title bar at the top. But should there be apps at the bottom? And these are the built-in ones in this version of Zorin, but if you upgrade to Zorin OS Pro, you can get additional ones. So we've got these apps at the bottom. We've got desktops. And more apps there. So go back to this one. Maybe this one. I think you should be able to find one that you prefer, that looks more familiar to you, or it looks like something you'd like. It's got this jelly mode if you want that. We can switch animations off if we want. Can switch between workspaces in 3D. And there's a spatial window switcher option. Which looks like that. Desktop adjustments, various different icons that we can put on the desktop. Windows, got options for the windows, the interface, and fonts. All quite customizable and all pretty neat. It does look very polished, quite stylish. This is quite a neat feature. if you're used to Windows 11 and this appearing in Windows 11, then that should be familiar to you. And yeah, quite neat if you want to use that. So it just works, I guess. Just, yeah. Sometimes booting from Ventoy causes problems. It didn't this time, just worked. So let's have a quick look at this tour. A few different options there. Connect online accounts if you want to. Link your phone if you want to. And add different software if you want to. And that's it really. Nice, simple introduction. I'll connect to the internet, just see what YouTube playback is like, because we know that that is stressful for older laptops like this. This is the little pop-up that you get, a lot like the kind of Windows 11 kind of pop-up, and other operating systems look quite a lot like this. Takes a while to switch to dark theme, but I've seen that before on Linux on this level of laptop. But it does look pretty good. Then hopefully we're going to switch back. We've got a Wi-Fi connection, getting up to about 6 Mbps. And I'll go on to the internet. I could probably close some of these other apps just to give the laptop some more memory, so it doesn't have to rely too much on the swap file. You can see that all of these apps were still in the dark theme. Choose password. No thanks. I mean, for security you should probably pay more attention to some of these pop-ups, but I'm just trying to get on the internet as quickly as possible. We went down to using about 900 megabytes then, which is pretty good. Not sure why that's not moving to the window I want. I want it to move to this window. It's not. It can't be bothered. There we go. So it's using 1.1 gigabytes of RAM, 1.2, and the swap file is being used. Okay, so let's just go to WebGL Aquarium. Scroll is too quick. I don't know why it's always so quick on whenever I try. It could be to do with this laptop. Getting about 20 frames per second. Apparently that went up to 40 frames per second, but it doesn't look like 40 frames per second. It's not particularly smooth. Let's try YouTube. YouTube is always pretty slow on this for the first load, and it's going to come up with the permissions or pop-up. And you can just reject it if you want. You don't have to accept cookies. I think the volume might still be quite loud, but we'll see what video playback is like. I've just picked up this PC from Facebook Marketplace. It's an NZXT case, but this logo, if you recognise that, that's the PC Specialist. They're a brand that seems to... So let's see if we can bring up stats. That just seems to pause it. Maybe I have to go to settings or something. So it's at 480. Thinks I've double clicked when I was trying to right click. Quickly take off the side so we can have a look inside. You can see that it is struggling to keep up, but maybe it would catch up if we gave it a chance. The sound is also a little bit crackly. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not. It was £50. There's no drive, no graphics card, but NZXT is quite a decent case brand. I was surprised to see that there's no kind of yeah, the sound isn't doing so great and playback's not so great, so this is not the best experience. I'm not sure why it's struggling so much. Here's the power supply. It looks quite Let's try 360. Good from here, but you never really know. Using the trying to use a Kensington mouse and left click is not going well, but I was going to try right click. Doesn't. Oh, no. Can I just slide it out? Or shall I have a look? I'll have a look back here. Because we can also see. Here we go. Finally found the stats. These are so tight. And it is using the VP09 codec, and if we switch to H.264 codec, we would probably get better playback. Quite a heavy side panel, even And you can see there are a lot of dropped frames up here. So let's just maybe leave this, and we can see here that the processor was at pretty much 100% during that. So maybe hardware acceleration is not properly enabled, or there's a driver issue, or we do need a switch to H.264 that'll probably give us a much better result. But in terms of the operating system, this is running, you know, really nicely, and running with about 1 gigabyte of memory in use means that it can run on a system with just 2 gigabytes of RAM. And it looks really nice and polished, and yeah, works surprisingly well considering the specifications of this laptop. You know, in terms of a functioning operating system, this is really quite neat. And I will probably stop the video pretty soon, but it'd be kind of neat to just have a quick look at terminal and add a little bit of extra applications. Oh, I need to put in my password, don't I? We could also have a quick look to see how many updates there are. In theory, because this has just come out, there shouldn't be too many updates, but you know, you never really know. So did that install? Yep, we've got HTOP. It says it's using 825 megabytes of RAM. And we can also install NeoFetch if it lets us. Impress your friends by running install from terminal. And then still doing stuff. You can see the CPU usage in the background. Here we have NeoFetch telling us about the system, the uptime, screen resolution, desktop environment GNOME 46, and the themes, processor, etc. Let's see how many updates there are. I think this is how you do it. 9 packages can be upgraded. So that's pretty neat. There's not hundreds and hundreds, which is pretty good. But yeah, really nice user interface. Switch between these quite easily. Different desktops. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed. If you really like it, I suppose you could pay for the pro version for the additional themes, but I guess you don't really have to. And yeah, worth checking out, I think. especially maybe if you've got older systems, not so much memory, and want to give it a try. Anyway, if you have found this interesting or useful, feel free to leave a comment, feel free to subscribe, and thank you for watching. I guess these kind of Linux on old hardware could be seen as quite useful, especially if you've got low spec hardware. But the nice thing about a lot of these Linux distributions is you can just download them and try them, see if they work, see if you like them, and you don't always have to install them, and they can run fairly well even without installing them. And by running them live, it's a good way of checking that, you know, your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, etc., and anything else I guess you want to use works properly before committing to install. So yeah, I'd say give it a try. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and see you in another video. Bye.